coming. I'm here. Hold on, let me grab the mic. Sorry, everybody. Heck of a week. All right, heck of a week for me. And I obviously apologize for any of the chaos that's been going on this week. It has been one hell of a chaotic week, okay? And I'm here to explain a little bit of that to you, because a lot of you may not be aware if you haven't been paying attention to my content in this past week. I may even hold the mic for this because I really don't even have anything positioned properly to do this. Like, I'm juggling the mic here because of the chaos that happened this week. So let me explain first of all. I've been way off this week. I've been saying that I was going to start streaming at certain times, and I haven't been able to live up to it. I ended up being late a lot. And my equipment was very wonky, meaning that my equipment that I used this week to do my streaming and direct capturing, I ended up changing it up right in the middle of the week, which kind of threw a monkey wrench into stuff. And basically it was just an off week, even though I did get a lot done. I mean, we went and played games like Sniper Elite 3 and Valiant Hearts and Shovel Knight, and we got through that stuff. But it was a very, very wonky week. This week, I'm going to try to make things more consistent. I'm going to try to do things better, even though, as you can see, a bad start, right? Here I am. First of all, the weekend preview, I'm doing it on a Monday instead of a Sunday, which a lot of people are like, why is that? And that's simply because yesterday was so chaotic, I didn't have a chance to come back and, before it was super late, even do the weekend preview. And so today, here we are, and it's Monday night instead of Sunday night that we're doing it, and I don't even have a table in front of me to put this down. If I put it over here, actually, if I put it right here, this might work, only you're going to hear me, like, over here. You know what I mean? You'll only hear me on one side of your speakers, because it is, I believe, a stereo mic. So I apologize for that, but here's the deal. Basically, as my stuff got delivered a little bit over a week ago during this move, I got it all set up and I got back to work, but then I ordered a new PC because this PC, well, the old PC that I was using for years finally kicked the bucket. It didn't want to boot properly. It was giving me all kinds of problems, and I said, that's it. This is where I draw the line. I have to get a new PC. So I ordered one, and it wasn't supposed to be delivered until this coming week, but then all of a sudden it got delivered on Friday, which got all kinds of chaos because now, of course, I wanted to figure out how to use it. I had a new capture device that had 60 frames per second and 1080p that I wanted to figure out how to use. So this whole weekend that was originally planned to be like a stable weekend of content ended up being just up in the air with craziness, all right? The good news is as follows, for those of you who haven't been following along on a daily basis. I am, as of right now, able to both live stream and direct capture in 1080p quality in 60 frames per second. The bottom line, though, is that unfortunately YouTube does not support 60 frames per second yet. They said they were going to eventually, but they do not right now, okay? But for those who have seen my streaming both on Saturday and Sunday, people loved it. People said it looks great. You know, the frame rate is amazing. Today, people were watching Shovel Knight, and when I was getting hit, my character actually blinked like he was supposed to, instead of just disappearing from the screen completely because 30 frames per second cuts out half of the animation of the game. Yeah, I mean, it looks great, okay? So when it works, it's great. The problem, of course, is that, some of you don't know this, I'm not able to use my old program. Right now, the program I'm using to do this video is XSplit. That's the program I've been using for a year and a half to do direct capture of gaming. I can't use that with my new stuff. For whatever reason, it doesn't work with my new capture device, and so I have to use a different program called OBS, which is a great program because it's free and it's open source and it has things developed for it all the time, but at the same time, it's not as dependable because it has all these differences between XSplit. And so, how do I do this in it? How do I do that in it? Shit, this didn't work right. Shit, that didn't work right. And that's what's kind of happening every day now as I start to use OBS more. I'm learning more, but at the same time, more kind of things are different from XSplit, and it holds me back a little bit. So, that's kind of a cumulative review of what happened in the past week, okay? So, I want to apologize again to anyone who, you know, oh man, Phil said he was going to stream at this time and this game and it didn't happen. I apologize. Listen, I fully intended to have things going as quickly as possible. I didn't expect to have to buy a new PC as quickly as I did, and I'm happy now that I did. In fact, here's the deal, everyone. Some people said, why don't you, instead of doing everything on your new PC, like for example, playing the PC game and streaming it and capturing it all on the same PC, why don't you play a PC game, like let's say The Witcher 3 when it comes out. The game's going to look great. Everyone's going to want to see it on PC. Why not play that on the new PC, but have another PC as the streaming and capturing PC? And I actually have a spare. It's an Asus that I bought about a year ago. That's the PC. It's actually more powerful than my old computer that I was using for everything, okay? Because it actually has a 4-core processor. It's an i5 processor, I believe, 16 gigs of RAM, a GeForce GTX 630 graphics card. So it's pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's decent. And it may actually be able to capture and stream 1080p 60 frames per second while I play the game and render it on this gaming PC. We'll have to see. Right now, it's not a major concern. There's no real PC exclusive games coming out or games that are going to look better on PC that I'm planning on playing in the immediate future anyway, but it's something to think about in the future. All right. So all that being said, Phil, this is the week in preview. What the hell are you playing this week, right? Well, let's get to it because there's a lot of good stuff I have to talk about on the week in preview. Hold on one second. Let me get a sip of water here. It's like I said, this stupid, my Stein is way over there on the table. I have nothing even near me because I was just trying to get set up quickly here today. All right, so what can you expect this week on stream and on YouTube from me? Well, first of all, tonight, immediately following this week in preview, which I hope I finish within, say, 10 minutes, we're going to have UFC. It's going to return for the first time in almost a month. If you remember, the last time that I played UFC, it was the last game I played before I left Connecticut in the condo, and I won the title. I won the heavyweight title. I became the champion, and then it kind of was anticlimactic because you didn't get to see me try to defend that title. It just ended, right? So tonight I'm going to try to pick up from where we left off back then. I'm going to be playing for probably roughly an hour and a half or so of UFC tonight. Don't worry if you're a fan of UFC, if you've liked that footage and you're like, oh, only an hour and a half. There's going to be more coming probably later this week. I'll do another stream of it simply because I like the game a lot, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't played it in weeks. I'm probably going to lose the title tonight, and I'm going to have to start from the bottom and climb my way back up again, okay? So that's tonight. Tomorrow, we've got a new game coming out, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. You may not have heard much about it. It's called Odyssey. It's actually coming out for the PC and PlayStation 3. I'm going to be playing it on PC because I think this will be a good opportunity for me to see if can I capture and stream in 1080p 60 frames per second through OBS. And if I do that on the PC, what kind of load is that on my CPU? Is it dropping frames? We'll find out tomorrow firsthand, okay? This game is a dungeon crawler with fighting game elements. It seems really unique to me, but I haven't played it, you know. I won't know yet until tomorrow, but I am going to be checking that out. That playthrough's going to start tomorrow on first stream, okay? Then, probably tomorrow night, what I'm thinking is, yeah, I probably will end up doing UFC again, so that way we can get a little bit more of UFC, and it's not like people who have been craving it get blue balls, like, oh, you know, only a little taste now, you don't get it anymore, okay? Wednesday, probably going to be more Abyss Odyssey, and this week, I am debating starting a new series, not a new series, but a new playthrough, and I've got a couple ideas in my head, juggling around of what it could be. And let me give you some of my thought process. First of all, ever since I bought the Resident Evil 6 collection, right, I bought the collector's edition over 2 years ago now, and well, almost 2 years ago now, and that one came with all these codes to get all the classic Resident Evils. Now, a year ago, I played Resident Evil 1, and it was a retro replay. Some people liked it, some people skipped it. I've actually been waiting to play Resident Evil 2 for a while, and I'm thinking now that we're in the summer, it's downtime, there's not anything really going on. This could be a chance for that to be kind of like my secondary stream as something retro. Maybe we could play Resident Evil 2. That's a consideration. I'm not 100% saying I'm doing it yet. Because the other side of the coin is that there's another game that came out during the time period that I was not playing video games. I was only playing Street Fighter and not focusing on games at all. I didn't even have a gaming level PC at the time. This is a game that went down in history as one of the best of its genre, okay? And it's actually one of the games that a well-known game developer made and went on to greatness afterwards for other things, such as Dragon Age and Mass Effect. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, there's a game that I've been waiting to play for a long time, Knights of the Old Republic. And I'm really thinking that, again, if this is going to be the time, the downtime, these several weeks of nothing going on, this might be the time to start that playthrough. So I'm not 100% saying I'm going to start both of those, but I'm very interested in starting those possibly as soon as this week. So that may see second stream on Wednesday, maybe the beginning of one of those, okay? Thursday is a unique day. The reason that Thursday is unique is because two things. Number one, the return of Ask the King. That's right, after over a month, I believe now, where I have not done Ask the King, it's coming back this Thursday. So right now, I know I haven't mentioned this in weeks, but head over to thekingofhate.com. Right there in the DSP Gaming section, there's a thread there for Ask the King. You can submit your questions right now for this Thursday's Ask the King. All right? This is the whole purpose of the series. You ask questions and I answer them. You'll also have the opportunity that afternoon to submit them via Facebook and Twitter, but it's much better if you put them on the forums because then I have a chance to read and review all those questions before I do Ask the King. Okay, so that's going to be first stream on Thursday is Ask the King. But second stream on Thursday, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be partaking in the Destiny beta. That's right, I was invited to it. I got an invitation in the mail. I registered for PlayStation 4. I'm going to be in the Destiny beta starting this Thursday. So I figured, don't do that first stream because what happens if they don't send the code right away? But I figure by the time I do my second stream, they should send the codes. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we'll be able to do that Thursday second stream and possibly even Friday first stream because I really am interested in kind of engrossing myself in Destiny. I played the alpha and I was kind of a little bit perplexed. Like, what are they going for with this? Is the whole game like this, or is this just one taste of the game? Does it get different when you play with more people in cooperative atmosphere? That's what we're going to see with this beta. So I'm probably going to do 1 to 2 sessions of the Destiny beta, and along with, like I said, Abyss Odyssey, along with the beginning of either Resident Evil 2, Knights of the Old Republic, or both. Okay? Now, keep in mind that any gameplay that I do this week is going to be done on my new setup. So if you at all can, you may want to try to check out the streams because they will be broadcast in 60 frames per second. Now, of course, some of these games, gee, do you really think Resident Evil 2 runs at 60 frames per second? In fact, Destiny does not. Destiny, it says, only runs at 30. So in that regard, it's not that big of a deal, but for other games, it might be. So this is your opportunity to, if you never watched a live stream before, you may want to check one out, because right now, I'll be honest, my footage is better on Twitch than it is on YouTube, and that's not my fault. That's because YouTube doesn't support the best technology right now. It doesn't support 60 frames per second. It will in a few months. All right, now, the elephant in the room, because I can already hear people. I can't even see the stream chat, and I guarantee you that people have already said this. What's going on this Saturday? What about John Rambo? What about Smart Guys that's been on hiatus for weeks? What the heck is going on in regards to that stuff? To which I have a very honest answer for you people. I don't know yet, all right? And here's why. If you remember, about 2 weeks ago, I asked John Rambo what was going on with Smart Guys. I said, can we maybe resume it? And he said, no, unfortunately, he's very busy right now working on the final episode of Schnozman and Hole Punch, and between his job and that, he just doesn't have free time to do anything else. So I said, okay, well, when do you think you'd be ready? And he said, possibly in 2 weeks, but it depends on how it goes. But the thing is, I haven't heard from him at all. You know, if I had heard from him and he said, oh, it's going well and whatever, then I would have said, oh, there's a good chance that maybe we'll be doing it this week. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. That makes me feel like a little apprehensive, like maybe it hasn't been going so well or he's not as far as he would like to be. I'm going to talk to John Rambo this week. If at all there is a chance that we are going to be doing Smart Guys this week, and also that our new show, like I said, we want to do a new show the same time that we're doing Smart Guys. We'll also film a new podcast where it's just the two of us catching up, shooting the shit about things that have been going on. Then, if we could do that this Saturday, amazing. And I'll let you guys know what time. Probably it'll be around the same time we always did it. But again, I don't know until I hear from Rambo. So I need to ask him, and I'll let you guys know later this week, okay? If not, well, we'll continue on with the other things that we're doing, whether it's Abyss Odyssey, whether it's Resident Evil 2, whether it's Knights of the Old Republic, whether it's more UFC, all that stuff, okay? The other thing is, I kind of want to dedicate myself to play Street Fighter consistently. And when I say that, I mean, I would really like it if I could play Street Fighter, Ultra Street Fighter 4, maybe one major stream a week, because that way at least I'll stay, I'll stay in the game. I won't get rusty. I'm learning. Every time that I play the game now, every week I'm learning a little bit more about it, and I'm seeing matchups, and I'm seeing interesting stuff, and I am, like I said, I'm a fan of fighting games. In particular, Street Fighter is my little forte. and I want to keep playing. It's just that usually what happens is, oh, the new one comes out, I play it for a couple weeks, and then I can move on to other stuff. In this case, I want to make an exception, and I think that once a week I'm going to make an honest effort to try and play Ultra Street Fighter 4, especially now that I can broadcast at 1080p and 60 frames per second. I think people would really enjoy that. So sometime this coming weekend, I'm going to try to do Ultra Street Fighter 4, okay? Keep in mind that the footage from this past Sunday, that I filmed like 40 matches, will be going live for another couple days. Two sessions are already live on DSP Gaming, and 2 more will be going live, alright? In addition to all that, there may be extra vlogs this week. As you know, since we moved to Washington, there's all kinds of new stuff going on, new food, new restaurants we're trying out. This week in particular, Leanna is going to try to do some cooking. She actually looked up some recipes online of some things she's going to attempt to cook for us this week. And so you may actually see videos of vlogs of that. How did it come out? How did it go? How does it taste? And we may be doing stuff like that as well coming up this week, okay? So it's a unique time. I've got a new setup that I'm really trying to work the kinks out of. That's beginning this week. We've still got a ton of vlogs and stuff going on. There's really nothing new being released. That's a huge thing that everyone wants to see, but I'm still going to have a wide variety of content for you throughout this week. Now, I do want to address one really final thing, because I know there's another elephant in the room. And excuse me while I grab my Stein again. One final thing that I know a lot of people are probably going to want to know. Excuse me. So, I'm sure that a lot of people are wondering, well, Phil, so you're telling us you got rid of your old PC. You're not using it anymore. What's going to happen with your playthrough of The Walking Dead Season 2, which you're currently in the middle of, and we're waiting for new episodes to come out, right? We did 3 of 5 episodes. What's going to happen with, oh God, what's the name of the game that I was playing? Broken Age. What's going to happen when the second half of Broken Age comes out later this year, which you played half of, but not the second half? How are you going to do that since you have a new PC? And of course, the final one is what's going to happen because Oblivion. You were playing Oblivion at one point, and you stopped playing it for a while because of new releases, and you never got back to it. And what's going on? It's been on hiatus for like over a month, almost 2 months. Maybe it has been 2 months. I don't even know. Here's my perspective. I can definitely, when the time comes, when the new episode of The Walking Dead or the new episode of Broken Age comes out, I can easily bring that PC back out of the closet, pop my plugs into it, turn it on, and just do that, okay? Keep in mind that I can actually do XSplit to capture the PC footage. I don't even need to hook a capture device or anything up to it to do that. That's an easy one. So Walking Dead and Broken Age, when those playthroughs do continue, when those are released, I will just go back to the old PC just for those, and then we'll go back to the new thing afterwards, okay? But at this point, and I hate to say it, I know some people will probably be disappointed, even though I don't think it'll be too many, because quite honestly, the last couple sessions that I played Oblivion really almost got no interest. No one was watching on the stream. I couldn't even hold 400 viewers on the stream, which is my kind of benchmark of if someone wants to see something consistently or not. And I couldn't, I mean, even the videos on YouTube, people were just not watching. Even though I was running it with mods and everything, people just didn't care. And I think it's because the game is just so old, and people are looking for new content. That's the tough part about this year, is that it seems like there's been very sparse new content. It seems like right in the end of February into late March, then all of a sudden it was like late May, early June, and besides those 2 periods, there's been nothing. It's just very, very light release schedule. Now the good news is, I do know that coming towards the end of the year, there's a living shit ton of stuff coming out all at once. There's going to be weeks of 3, 4 major releases coming up during the hardcore gaming season. So I think the end of the year is going to be great, but right now it's sparse, and I just don't think people want to see something like that at this point. And it sucks because I am liking the game, but I'm not going to continue, especially now, that playthrough if I have to pull my freaking old PC out of the closet, plug 100 wires into it to continue it every Friday if people aren't going to come out for it, and people weren't coming out for it. If it was still running on the current PC and I didn't need to do all that extra work, I would have continued it, but at this point, I don't think I'm going to continue Oblivion. It's unfortunate, but I think it's just something that I have to do due to me changing equipment. And, maybe we'll do something. I might start Knights of the Old Republic. Maybe that'll take its place for now, okay? I don't know. And I apologize to anyone who was watching the playthrough. There's probably about 1,000 to 2,000 people that were consistently watching it, only a few hundred on Twitch. I would have loved to continue it, but it's just too much work. And that is one of the downfalls with the PC. I hate to say it. A lot of people say, oh, I love PC Master Race. Yeah, but if you upgrade your PC to a new one, now anything you were doing on your old one, good luck figuring out how to transfer it properly or get anything to work, especially with that. I had mods installed and everything. It's not even worth it to try to figure it out. So I think that, unfortunately, Oblivion may be dead in the water, but we'll be continuing on with new projects this week, okay? So, a jam-packed week. We've got a new game with Abyss Odyssey. We've got the continuation of UFC. We've got the Destiny beta coming up later this week. The return of Ask the King. We've got more Street Fighter later in the week. We've got the possibility of either Resident Evil 2 or Knights of the Old Republic starting up this week. I'd like to definitely hear your feedback on what you'd like to see me play first. We got a ton of new content, even though it's dead and there's nothing going on. And, of course, this leads into next week. Guess what comes out next week?
Dark Souls 2 DLC.
Whoa! I know so many people have been waiting for more Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 DLCs next week. That's going to be huge, so definitely stay tuned to hear info on that. All right, everyone? That's it for the weekend preview. I thank you very much for being here, whether if it was on Twitch or YouTube. I'm going to end this sucker, upload it to YouTube, and then we're going to get started with UFC tonight. All right, everyone? So thanks. I'll see you for UFC, and I'll see you for gameplay all this week. Peace.